last video, my update video actually, I said that I'll not be able to make videos because of priorities and what I need to do in life right now. But had a little free time, so yes, this is going to be my last video because come March, everything is really going to be hectic. And yeah, so before I can go into my priorities in life, I'm just going to make this one last video, and this is going to be a video response actually to Mr. Sakan Lam's tutorial kicks, especially when it comes to doing shadow kicks. Now this is going to be a, should I say a drill, especially when you're doing the Brazilian kick. I don't know why it's called a Brazilian kick, but for some reason it's popular with that name. And the kick that I'm talking about would be this kind of kick, where you either kick low or you feint low, and then you shoot high and then go over. Then you're just going to turn around, spin around. So it's going to be like that. So at full speed, like so. So the drill that I'm going to share with you, so this is just going to be a small drill. But small drills are actually important because if you're going to do them consistently, it will eventually lead you to doing the technique more smoothly and without much injury. Or if not without much injury, you're going to have the least amount of injury in doing so. So this is going to be a drill and warm-up. So if you're really familiar with playing hacky sack, this is going to greatly help you. Because the motion that you're going to do with the legs, or just going to concentrate on the right, you can do it on both legs if you want, but I strongly recommend that you do. So we're just going to do the right leg for this video. If you're familiar in playing hacky sack, this is going to be helpful because the motion that you're actually doing is this. See? So if you're going to play hacky sack, like so. Except that instead of just going here, instead of just having your foot here, you're also going to put your foot here outside. So you also have to have a good amount of hip flexibility as well as groin flexibility because it also stretches the groin this way and this way. So you really have to warm up your legs a lot in doing this drill. So if you can't do this kind of drill yet, in this height, hip height, because my knee is 90 degrees, from 90 degrees with my hip, you can just lower it down and just do this first. Now the key in doing that drill is to have your leg, which is from this part, from the knee part going down, very, very loose. So it's almost hanging. You're actually not tensing it up. So you know that it's just hanging and relaxed when your foot is just dangling down. And you can move your foot like this. Okay? So aside from doing this, if you have watched the tap and heel hold that I already made from one of my past videos, this is where you also apply this. Because it also helps you in coordinating yourself with your balancing leg, as well as kind of stretching and practicing your hand-feet or hand-foot coordination when it comes to doing this drill. So the drill that I'm talking about would be, instead of just doing this, although this is the advanced portion, the beginning portion would be this one. Yes, it's exactly mimicking the motion of playing the hacky sack, except that it's easier because you're just tapping it this way. Now, if you are getting the hang of it, tapping it this way, you can do double taps. So you're now going to use two hands. And by using two hands, it means that you're going to tap from the inside of the foot and also tap the outside of the foot. So instead of just doing this, you're now going to do this. Now, I know that a whole lot of people would not even be able to bring their foot outside this way. So you can just even do this portion. Like so. It doesn't really have to be that far at first if you don't have that flexibility yet. So you really need to work on that because this portion right here is really, really hard for the hips if you're not really, really careful. So yeah, you really, really need to start slow. I know that the kick is beautiful to look at. I know that it's really effective. But sometimes those kinds of complicated techniques, you really, really need to start slow and work hard in order for you to not injure yourself in doing it, no matter how cool the technique is. That's the reason why you really, really need to start with the basics. So once you're good in doing this, now I'm going to do the advanced portion, which is, so face here, you're just going to raise your knee up to keep it at this level and just stand there like doing a flamingo stance, except that your knee is 90 degrees, like so. If you can, balance yourself in doing that. You can have a chair beside you or a wall or any solid object that you can hold on to, but you're not going to entirely put your weight on that. You're just going to have to just hold, or should I say tap on that object so that you're not going to fall on either side or wiggle about, so that you're going to feel the strength and the stability of your standing leg. So in this case it's going to be right. It's going to be like that. Like so. If you're falling, tap up until you're back at the center. Falling this way, tap, come back to the center, like so. Now once you're good in doing that, once you know that you're already stable when it comes to balancing your stabilization leg, especially with only one leg, and maintaining the 90-degree angle of your kicking leg, instead of now doing double taps like this, you're now going to try to do the hacky sack motion. So it's going to be this way. If you can just do this, it's fine. But notice that when I do this, my leg, after doing this motion, naturally goes to the other side. So this is the reason why you want this portion of your leg relaxed. Okay? So, doing this motion. Now, once you're done doing that, if you're really, really good at that motion right here, now you're going to take it up a notch. So, instead of just wiggling about, because in wiggling about you're kind of shifting your weight back and forth, so it helps you when it comes to balance. The next thing that you're going to do, this is going to be a challenge, is going to do a heel hold. Now, you're either going to hold your heel like this, or just hold it this way. It's easier holding it at the inside of the foot, like so. See? But it's much harder if you're going to hold it the other way. Notice that when I held it the other way, my stabilization leg pivoted quite a little in order to compensate the balance. Because it's unnatural for you to have your stabilization leg standing straight, so meaning that your foot is forward of you, it's in line, and just do this. It's kind of hard, so it's natural for you to have your stabilization leg pivot slightly, or at least 45 degrees, and then hold it here. So the first would be, instead of just wiggling about, you're going to hold, and then do the other side. You can hold as long as you want, as long as you can feel that you're actually strengthening the stabilization leg and strengthening and stretching simultaneously your hip and your leg. Like so. Now once you're done doing that, you're now going to actually do the motion of the kick, but instead of just going through the kick, you're going to first do include the heel hold when it comes to doing the kick. So instead of just standing here and then go to the other side and hold it, you're now actually going to do the heel hold and then in the process of doing the kick. So try to kick low, hold it here as long as you want, then release, back. Notice that I didn't really take into account making my leg go over, because you're actually strengthening your hip and stretching your groin at the same time for now. Okay, once again, do this, heel hold, as long as you want, then if you're going to let your leg go down, you just let your leg go down naturally. You're not going to force it. Just let it down naturally. Because you're holding it and the gravity is naturally pulling your leg down. So use that momentum to your advantage so that you're going to injure yourself less. Okay? And once you're done doing that, you're going to naturally practice it with an object in front of you. So kind of like a Muay Thai kick, like so. Except that you're going to include a heel hold now. So instead of just having your heel here, you're now going to have your leg in a 90-degree angle, trying to cross over the object in front of you. Then again, naturally release, letting the gravity pull your leg naturally. Okay, once again, hold here, 90-degree angle, oops, not scissors, crossing over. Now once you're done doing that, you're now going to tap the kick or tap your leg. So instead of just holding it, once you have strengthened your hip and groin and stretching them both at the same time, once you're used to it doing the motion, you're now going to tap for the kick. So instead of just doing this, then release, you're now going to actually do this. See? Like so. Let's do it in this angle. Before I held it, I try to cross over. Now I'm just going to tap it. Like so. Notice that I'm not really trying to extend my leg, because the power of the Brazilian kick, I believe, is when the leg is semi-folded. So it's not fully extended. It's going to be semi-folded because you're actually powering your kick with the strength of your hip and your body weight going slantly downwards due to gravity. So you're not actually extending, it's semi-folded, like so. So again, do the tap. Like so. Then eventually, you're going to do the kick by just removing the tap. Now some people would try to contend that your stabilization leg should lift the heel when you're trying to do the Brazilian kick. For me, personally, that's actually a preference. You're not going to really try hard to lift your heel in doing the kick, because when you're used to doing the Brazilian kick, your stabilization leg will naturally follow. So yeah, it'll just pivot. When you pivot, your stabilization leg, your heel lifts off from the floor anyway. So yeah, you're not going to try to overreach you're just going to turn your stabilization. So that's the drill, or those are the small drills in progression that you can do when it comes to doing the resilient kit. I won't be making additional videos after next month. So, well, I have to go through next month and then I'll be able to do additional videos after next month. So, yeah, life is getting hectic. Okay, I hope that these progression drills really help you even in the smallest way possible. So, yeah, God bless you all. Always stay safe and take care.